Hi boys and girls. Today we are going to open up our drawing center. We're going to learn about what materials are in it, how to use those materials, some techniques, and also how to clean up after we use it.
All right, everybody. First, we're going to talk about Sharpies. Sharpies are permanent markers, and most of you have already used these before, and they're really great for drawing things that you do not want to erase or wash away. So at your drawing center, you have colored Sharpies. We have black Sharpies by my desk, but all of our colored Sharpies are in the drawing center, and we want to take good care of them. When we use our Sharpies, we want to make sure we don't bang on the Sharpie because it pushes the tip in and breaks the tip. When we're done, we also want to make sure we put the cover on all the way so it snaps. But these are great for tracing over pencils. Usually I would say trace and erase because Sharpies are great for that. They're also great for what's called cross-hatching. And you can create value with hatching. This is hatching. Or cross-hatching would be if you go in both directions. That's a great way to add value with Sharpies, but they're not great for shading. So if you want to shade, you should probably use a pencil. We're also going to talk about paint sticks. These are new this year. Paint sticks are kind of like drawing with lipstick. They feel very smooth. They're actually shaped like a glue stick, but they're not glue. When you open this up, you have to twist it up just like you would with a glue stick, and then you basically just kind of color with it. Now, the reason it's called a paint stick is that this is a sort of solid form of paint. When we color with these, you'll notice that they're very smooth and creamy, but the nice thing about them is that they dry instantaneously. So you might notice that, let's say that you start to draw, and then you touch your paper, that paint is not going to really get on your hands. It's not going to smear at all because it is very quick drying. And that's why it's in our drawing center and not in our paint center. So have fun with those. When you're done, please make sure that you twist it all the way back down and put the cap on until it snaps, just like a glue stick. Another material at your drawing center are colored pencils. Colored pencils are something most of you are familiar with, and most of you are pretty familiar with the techniques that we can use with this material. Some of you might not be, so I wanted to do a quick example of some techniques. They're transparent a little bit. They're kind of translucent. So when we draw with them, you can see what's underneath. This lets us do some really cool techniques, like let's say we lay down a nice even plane of color by using the side of our colored pencil. Let's just do something called layering. So layering is when we start with one color, we have a nice solid even layer of that color, and we take another color and we again hold a pencil on its side, and we can sort of add more than one color. Because it's transparent, that creates an effect called layering. And if we make smart color choices, we can create an effect called gradation. So let's say I start with yellow. I know green will blend with yellow pretty well, so I'm going to add a layer of green over that. And it takes a little more time to do this technique, but I also know blue and green are great friends. So I'm going to add that along the edge, and then that will make it look a little darker. And then I also know that a very dark violet will make that edge much more dark, because green and violet and yellow kind of, when you mix those together, they get very dark on you. So I'm going to make that edge really dark. If you get done layering and you'd like to make the surface of your colored pencil look very smooth and glossy, you can do what's called burnishing. Burnishing is when you take a white colored pencil and you press very firmly and you go over the surface. And what that does is it makes it look smooth and shiny, and it blends all those colors together a little bit more. Now, the negative part about burnishing is that once you do it, you can't go back. There's no way to really undo it. So it's a last step, but it makes your colors a little brighter too. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but you may be able to see that in this area, those colors have brightened up a little bit and they've gotten a little bit more brilliant. So that's what burnishing does. The last material we're going to talk about at your drawing center are the construction paper crayons. Now these look different from normal crayons because they are black. They have a black wrapper. And that black wrapper tells you that they're not your regular crayons. These crayons have a little bit of chalk added to them, which makes them more opaque. What that means is that if you draw on dark colored paper like black or a colored construction paper, they may show up better than regular crayons. When you're done using the drawing materials, please make sure they each end up in their own container. If they get mixed up between containers, that makes it much harder for other kids to use those materials in their class. Also, please make sure when you put them back on their shelf or cart, that they go in the same group. So all the colored pencils go together, all the construction paper crayons go together. That way, when other people come in, they know exactly where things are.
And there you have it, boys and girls, the Drawing Center.